Just in time. Hey guys, it's Javi and welcome back to my channel. I did tell you guys that this is not going to become a mukbang channel, right? I hope so. Well, anyway, if you are clicking on this video to see what I'm doing, I am having tea. It is currently 9:50 something in the morning, and I like to start my day with a cup of tea. So, rather than just start my day with a cup of tea, oh geez, I didn't turn the stove off. Rather than just start my day with a cup of tea, I thought that I would also share some tea. So yeah, right now I'm just having some mint tea. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just have some mint tea. Some mint tea. Yeah. So, basically, this story time is no stranger to some people who may know me. Oh, the sugar. This is about the time that I almost got jumped. Which, prior to certain beliefs, does not actually happen often. 1, 2. Why would it happen often? I don't know. But, anyway, so this is actually a very long story time. And this I can basically cut the story into 2 parts. But that is up to you guys. So if you want to see the first technical part of the story, because like the first half that got me into the situation, that is tea for another time. Tea for another time, indeed. But right now, we're talking about this particular time. Basically, I will just tell you the gist of that beginning tea, and if it piques your interest, leave me a comment down below. Very simple. It's not hard. Shoot me a DM. It's not hard. Just let me know what you want to see, and we'll do that. Okay? Yeah. So basically, I had gotten suspended from school, and I had to go to an alternative school for the time being of while I was, away from school. It was like 2 years ago. 2-3 years ago. So basically, I had gotten suspended from school with, a few friends, and we all had to go to separate alternative schools. So the alternative school I went to, I wasn't a stranger to the school because I was in a program in that school, way back when. And for those of you guys who don't know what alternative schools are, some of them mean that, for example, let's say you're in high school and you need to take certain classes, you'll go to that alternative school. Or maybe you might be a little bit older, you might go to that school, or, for adults, they'll be in a different area of the school. For me, the first time that I ever went to the program, which was a completely different program than what I went to, it was simply because when I was in junior high school, I had gotten sent away because, I can't even remember what happened. My principal had said that I should go to this school to catch up because, like I said, I always, I've been in and out of the country when I was younger. My mom used to always take me in and out of Jamaica or, on vacations or whatever the case was, because of her business, so I always had to leave school for it. So I kind of fell behind, and then I went to that school simply to catch up on some of the stuff, but that also is tea for another time because God knows that put me back in school like nothing else will. If you hear any background ambient noise, it is simply because my mother is showering, and sometimes she likes to do the most. But yeah, back on this story. It was hot. It's hot. I went back to the same alternative school because it's one large school, but there's just you just go to different rooms or in the school or different areas of the school for certain things. One particular area, if I remembered correctly from my last time being in that school from when I was in the upstairs program. So basically, they always let you out at different times because there's a safe school downstairs. For those of you also who don't know what safe schools are basically for, I don't want to say criminals, but for those students who, are a little troubled, a little troubled. They may have done some stuff, coming from bad neighborhoods, getting themselves involved into foolery. You know, maybe they got suspended for fights, stealing, robbery, whatever the case is, like bullying, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, the safe school is basically for the kids who, little anger. Yeah, little anger management problems or whatever the case may be. That stuff. When I was in the upstairs program, I think we were there from 9 in the morning, and then we ended at 3 or 2:30, one of the two. All I remember is that we ended later than the safe school, because the safe school had to get out earlier. Or was it? I can't even remember. Yeah, no, the safe school had to get out earlier so that they make everybody leave the school at different times so that we can avoid bumping into one another. Not that there was conflict, but just to avoid any possible conflict. Because, we're a different group and they're a different group, and if they band together, they can do whatever they want to do. So, we were upstairs and, you'd hear a bell ring. That bell literally means nothing because that bell is not for you. It's not a school-assigned bell. You go on lunch at different times, and even when you went on lunch, you didn't leave the school for it. But we would watch them, leave from the other area. They have a completely separate entrance at the end of the school, learning whatever they're learning. So, lo and behold, when I got suspended, where do you think I went? Because of the situation. I'm not going to tell you the situation because, once again, that is the beginning part of the story's tea. So, like I said, shoot me the comment if you want to know. But yeah, so lo and behold, where do I go? The safe school. The safe school. What did I do? Nothing. But I went to a safe school. Do I look like a violent person? No. Not at all. I don't understand. So, anywho, I'm here, I don't understand. Where am I going? Why am I going to the safe school? So, basically, you have to go through this little interview process with the directors or whatever. So I went there and I'm like, you sure this is for me? The program upstairs was not bad. They're like, no, that's alternative learning. You would be learning regular subjects. I'm like, yeah, I am in regular subjects. Why don't you put me back up there? This was simply because of the altercation, if you will, that brought me there in the first place. So whatever, fasting forward, after the interview, obviously most people get in. I got in because I'm not a violent person, so whatever. I ended up getting in. I believe I started probably the Tuesday or so, and there I met some people, and when I tell you, these kids, these teenagers, these people looked a little rough. When I say rough, I mean they just all looked troubled. Rough. Look all raggedy. But not in a demeaning raggedy way. I mean literally they all have the resources that they need to do better and appear better and even sound better, but they choose, keyword, to be that way. Because I'm just looking at them, I'm like, you guys are putting yourselves into these situations or whatever. Some of them had cuts and bruises all over their face from the fights that got them there in the first place, walking in late, their attitudes. I'm just looking at them like, I don't belong here. And basically, so whatever. Most people who know me know that I am not the typical person. I don't want to say that I don't fit in, because I really do fit in. I'm a relatable person, but in terms of my aesthetics, sometimes I don't fit in with that basic crowd. Especially back then, I had my nice little stuff that I was wearing. I was looking cute. I had my nice, bags, whatever the case was, and I would walk into the school and just go about my business, and they're looking at me like, who's this? Nobody's saying anything to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go and make friends with these, criminals, whatever. What? Tea? And whatever, so basically my only friend was the teacher at the time. So we're, going back and forth. There's I don't want to say there's two classes. You could virtually say that there's two classes. You would do your subjects in the one class, basically. Maybe if you needed to go back and forth between this. So, there's the main class where they have the little computer lab, and then, the main floor area. And it's you walk in, and you go up these little stairs, and there's, the computer aisle. And then you go back down, and then, it's in this main class. It's not, a big area, but it's a pretty big area. And then you kind of walk through the hallway because, like I said, there's a separate entrance. So it's like you come through those doors in the separate entrance, and right on your right, your first right, there's a door, and it's like the kitchen slash second room. So we would like learn stuff in there too. And when we went on like break, like when we went on lunch break, and I would say that's the beauty of one of these safe schools, because the only thing that comes greatly, or the good part about it, is that they make you food. Like, you don't go anywhere for the food. Like, your snack, when you go on snack, they provide the snacks. Like, you get your food, and it's like a pretty nice cooked lunch. So whatever, you know, that's the kitchen slash other English room, if you will. And then at the end of the day, we usually went to the gym. I never experienced this problem yet in my life where I would ever have to be in a group of teenagers that if they acted up, we would all not go to the gym, because I said, I just don't know why I cannot kick a soccer ball. Why is him stabbing the other guy with a pencil? Why must that stop me from enjoying my life's pleasure? I don't get it. So I was with the teacher I think I was there for maybe like a month or so. Oh my god, no, it was a lot longer than that. It was almost a whole semester. Because this happened around my birthday, and I was there up until November-ish, December-ish. Dang, that's a long time. Anyway, so I'm there and whatever, and there's a few faces kind of look familiar and whatnot. So there's this one specific kid. It's taking me a while to get through the story because, sis, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. So, there's this one specific kid, you know, he's looking a little troubled. When I tell you, for the life of me, I don't remember his name because, like, my brain tends to remember relevant people. He was not one of them, so, yoop. Anywho, there was this one specific kid. There's a few of them that look troubled. One of them looked familiar. I'm not going to mention who. But one specific kid comes in, you know, he comes in late, and his attitude is just like, you know, I'm the shit, you know, I'm that, like, he just acted like he was that dude when he knew he wasn't that dude. And you could, like, one thing I can really see in a lot of people, because I read people here, just like look in my eyes and I'll know, like, you could read the insecurity off of him. I was never afraid of him, and I tend not to be afraid of many people. Reason being is because half of y'all are fronting, and I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't have anything to front about. Anywho, so, you know, he just had this troubled look on his face, like he doesn't want to talk or whatever, and I'm like, wow. Okay, let me go about my business and continue doing my math game or whatever the case is. And so, you know, like, anytime the teacher asked him a question, he would act, you know, he'd answer with an attitude, or he thought he was funny. And then there was, like, these other two girls in the class. One of them I made friends with. If you're watching this and you know who you are. Hey, sis. And then the other girl I didn't really make friends with. She was mix-up. She was mix-up. That is also a story for another time. Let me know. So, anywho, so, like, he would kind of be talking to the girl, like, and he would almost, like, try to be flirting with her and whatever, and, like, thank God that after a while when I made friends with this girl that came in the class, I was like, oh my god, someone that can relate to me. She's cute, she's small, she's just my cup of tea. And I'm like, okay, I can handle this. And she would, like, kind of educate me on the same guys. I'm like, I don't know how you know them. Or I don't even know if it was that she knew them or if she kind of just spoke to them a little bit more. And so, you know, I would kind of get a little more info on him. Like, you know, he's troubled, he's weird. You know, I don't know what's going on in his personal life. But, like, he brings it to school and he just acts like he seems like he has anger issues, but he doesn't try to hide them. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, long story short, eventually we got to a point where most people in the class were kind of comfortable talking to one another. Granted, they were all there before I was, considering the fact that I literally got in somewhere in the middle because I didn't start out there. And yeah, so fasting forward, where, you know, some people still are not talking to me. I'm not really talking to them because, once again, some of those guys, they just did too much. So, another one of the guys, one specific guy that he was friends with, one of the guys, they tried to make friends with me or whatever. I cannot remember his name either, but he was, like, darker. And so he tried to make friends with me and whatever, and, you know, he would ask questions, and he'd be, like, you know, he seemed cordial or funny. But then again, I'm not there to make friends. I'm there to go about my business, and get my credit, and leave. Because I was not there for I was not there because I had to be. I mean, I wasn't there because I needed to be. I was there because I had to be. So, he's, like, trying to make friends with me. He's, like, you know, he's, like, talking, and he's, like, you know, he's trying to be funny or whatever, but he's also friends with the other guys. you know, so, like, well, if we're like, you know, all sitting in the class and, you know, some people are on the computer games, like he'll talk to me or whatever. We'll all kind of talk almost like, you know, not like we're a chilling group, but he'll just like he'll stop. He's like, we're cordial. You know what I mean? Like, we never experience any problems. My guy is just a complete mix-up because he's talking to the same weird one, like, you know, the light-skinned one, with the anger issues, you know, about me secretively and like real low key. Like, I'm literally going about my business. Keep in mind, the people in this class, they're like, they look at me like they, you know, like I'm not being flashy in the class, but like I literally look like a bum every day basically. Like, I just had my sweatpants on. I freaking had my like winter boots, like not Timberlands, winter boots, like my big hefty Sorels. And you know, I just walked in there and you know, I had my bag and like there's nothing, I didn't look flashy and I wasn't showing off anything. I literally just looked like a regular person. And you know, like things like, oh, like, you know, can I buy your bag? At the time I have this like big black Guess bag that I like, you know, really liked using. So, you know, oh, like, let me buy that bag and blah, blah, blah. Like, it looks so nice. And I'm like, no, you can't put your guns in my bag. Sorry. Anyway, yikes. Oh, this is good now. Okay, so, whatever. You know, we're talking. We're doing our stuff and whatever. And I think we got to this, like, weird activity thing that we ended up doing. And you wrote something something was written and then it was taped on your back. You had to try to figure out what was taped on your back by the person miming in front of you. These were like icebreaker games. So, you know, one of the, like, I'm trying to break the ice with some of these people. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't have a chisel. I don't have any, like, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm knocking at this ice and, you know, walls are a little tough. So, you know, I can only do it for so long before I go to the next cube. So, you know, I'm trying to break the ice with some people. Some people are literally slow. I'm like, I don't know where hockey comes into play from. Like, I don't play basketball. I don't play sports, but I just don't understand where you got hockey from that. So these are things that I was like really concerned about. So, you know, little things like that. And I didn't say anything because once again, I didn't come there to make friends with people. And I knew that saying, like, your mouth can get you in trouble. So therefore, I did not say anything because, like I said, I don't know who to trust and I don't know who to voice my opinion to. But thank God I have myself and I have my own friends. So therefore, I voice any of my opinions, concerns about the people in that room to the people back home. Period. And so, granted, they were slow. And let's just fast forward to the end of the story because that's where the good stuff happens. Well, good-ish. So, keep in mind, once again, I'm alone. I don't live that close to the place. I can't remember where I was living. I was living in my old house by this time. And it's not too far. So, the problem is with this school is there's this really long walk from the bus stop. I don't know what just happened. I'm pretty sure my camera just stopped recording. But anyway, I was saying, so the problem with the school was the bus stop was very, very, very far away. So it's like, let's say the main road is like all the way over here. The school was all the way over here. So it's like you got off at the bus stop. At the time, because I had already went to the school, I think 2 years prior, 2 years prior, like, there was this shortcut through the buildings, like, because the bus stop was not very close. Like, you got off across the street, then you had to get all the way, like, you had to walk across, and then you had to come all the way down to the sidewalk and then come down. And make it worse, it was one of those streets where the sidewalk was only on this side of the street. So this side didn't even have a sidewalk. It was just, it was like this weird grass. It was just grass. I don't understand. Like, you had a driveway and it was grass. So it's like, where the hell is the sidewalk? Where are you supposed to walk? On the road? So anyway, there's only a sidewalk on this side of the road. But luckily there was a building, like, my friends, like, we had learned shortcut, so, like, you could kind of walk behind the parking lot of the building and kind of get through faster. So, yeah. Now, there's also two more ways. Like, when you're walking down, it's either a straight road that you could go to, and you still have to go down and turn left at the end to get back to the school, or when you get halfway, you literally go around, like, another side street-ish, and then you're basically right to the door that you need to be at. That's the way that we took because it was just easier. That was the way that we ended up taking when we were going home anyway. So, that being said, because this is the key point, you know, we're getting closer to the end of school, like, when, like, I think it was the last day or something like that. That's why I'm trying to remember how exactly it went or whatever the case was. But long story short, somehow it was the last day. This is like winter-ish or maybe summer-ish. I can't remember. But it was warmish. And yeah, so it's like the last day and whatnot, and we're all leaving. And or I think it was my last day and they knew or something like that, because everybody likes to blab and talk and whatever. And so, yeah, no, it was my last day. So it's my last day. I'm getting ready to go. I'm like, peace it. I'm out of here. I need to go. I'm tired of this. I can't. So, I'm ready to go. It's the last day. We're leaving. We all pack up. End of the day, we're ready to go. So, we're leaving. I'm saying bye. I'm going about my business thinking everything's perfectly fine. Keep in mind, the same, you know, mix up other kid, like the darker one, who was, like, I don't want to say was supposed to be my friend, but the one who was more acquainted with me than the other males, let's say. He's telling, like I said, he's telling the crazy other one, the crazy light-skinned one, you know, that I'm saying things about him. And this is how I found out. So we're leaving, and most of the time, everybody from that like, the group from the class or whatever, they go, like, it's really complicated. I have to draw out a map. So basically, it's like, once you leave, like, so remember how I said there's two different ways. Like, you could take that side cut way, which, like, curves into that long straight road with only one sidewalk going back to the main road. When you get out, obviously, there's a main street in front of, not a main street, but there's a regular street in front of the school because it needs to have somewhere for people to drive. But if you continue walking straight down, this is not you turning at all going to the regular bus stop. There's another bus stop to take you in a different direction. Like, but this is on this side, closer to the school. This is far from where my bus stop is. And I think at the time only one person got to that bus stop. So, or it was just me. Or maybe one other person. But anyway, so usually they go the other way. And I remember that I'm trying to leave, you know, I'm trying to skedaddle, I'm trying to get there early. So I can't even remember how it went. And I think I was on the phone with one of my friends or something. And I'm trying to scurry my little ass on home. Like, I'm like, okay, let me walk down this little shortcut way. It's not, it is a shortcut, but don't think it's like one of those really sketchy it's literally just another lane of houses. Like, it's it's right and bright. Like, people can see, like, it's nothing hidden. It's just another lane. So I'm going down the same lane, you know, the one that, like, the shorter way. So I'm like, okay, I'm walking, I'm on the phone with my friend, I think. Oh, I just spit. I'm walking and I'm on the phone with my friend or whatever, and I'm going about my business. You know, I'm like, okay, I can't wait to leave. I'm ready to go. Whatever. So I'm all the way down at the end, and I hear my name. Yo, yeah. And I turn back and I said, what's commotion? What's happening? Tell me why my guy, when I've never seen this in my life. My guy, the light-skinned one, his entire group of friends is back here. My guy's calling, when I tell you on God, I couldn't tell you his name, even if the case is he wrote it out verbatim, word for word, letter for letter. I don't even know. I cannot remember his name. It was that irrelevant to me. He was that, I don't even think I learned his name in class. But anywho, he's like running all the way up to me, and I'm wondering what the heck is going on. He's talking about, oh, you know, like, my God, first of all, it's freezing outside. I'm wearing my winter jacket, my boots, whatever, and like, I'm freezing. He then takes off his jacket wearing a t-shirt underneath. A t-shirt. So he takes off his jacket wearing a t-shirt and whatnot, runs all the way up to me. And this is a fair distance, mind you. A fair distance. I feel like someday I just have to show you. This is a fair distance away. And he runs all the way up to me with no shirt. Like, he gets up in my face like, yo, I heard you were talking shit about me. And blah, blah, blah. And I said, me? And I literally said to him, me? Talking shit about you? I said, I don't know you. And he's like, no, they said that you were talking about me. They said you were talking about me. And I said, they said I was talking about you? I don't even know your name. When I tell you, on God, I'm looking at this man dead in his eyes, and I'm saying, I don't even know your name. How can I talk shit about you if I don't know your name? And he turns around, he's like, was he talking shit? And the same dark one that I was telling you about, he's all the way back there with the group of guys, because they're all chanting him on, thinking that he's about to whip me in my face. When I tell you, this guy has gotten so up in my face, he dropped my phone out of my hand. My phone cracked, shattered on the floor. In the middle of the road. It's freezing. I'm like, I don't have the energy for this. Like, I don't. And his friends are like, yeah, no, he was talking, of course he was talking that shit, blah, blah, blah. He was talking, and I said, okay, so if I was talking shit about you, see, this is, let me give you guys a life lesson real quick. If people want to instigate a fight with you, you better throw facts at them. When you make people feel stupid, then there's nothing to fight about. Then all they have left is their fists. And your fists need to be just as powerful to back up all the talk that you were saying. And his fists weren't. I was not afraid. My heart was beating at the end because it was like, shit, nothing like that's ever happened before. But I was not afraid. Period. So, whatever, he's turning around, his friends are like, yeah, no, he was talking shit. I said, okay, so if I was talking shit, sir, I don't know your name, but what was I saying? What did I say? And who would I talk to? Because I talked to one person in the school. 2 people if you include the teacher. 3 people if you include God when I have to pray about you guys' idiocracy. If that's even a word. So, let me know what I was saying to you. And my guy could not tell me. Tell me. He just could not. Like, he was at a loss for words. He was, when I tell you, the way he was, they were literally like, just swing at him, just rock his jaw, just rock his jaw. And I said, you guys want to see a show? If I give you a show, all I have, listen, a lie, my friend, is what really helps you sometimes. And I simply said to him, and I said, look, my dad is a police officer, and he is right around the corner waiting to pick me up. So you could hit me in my face now and get arrested later, or you could back up and go back to your herd. And that is exactly what I said to him. And what did he do? Back up and go back to his herd. Because we, baby, we're not about to do that. I'm so sorry. Like, you think me? I'm a T-Day. Not about that life. I'm not. Like, if push comes to shove, I am a strong person, and I can fight. But I'm not going to waste my energy and my freshly done manicure on you. My apologies. And make it worse, he was tall-ish, like taller than me. Because like I said, I'm 5'8", so he could have been like 5'11", whatever the case may be. And I was probably shorter back then too, because this is like 2-3 years ago. So I was probably a little bit shorter and, you know, whatever. But he also wasn't a thick guy. Like, he was thin. Like, he was a skinny-ish guy. I'm like, listen, big head, don't, like, we're not gonna do this. This is what we're not gonna do. So I suggest you back up, you pick up my phone, you know, whatever the case was. I can't remember if he picked up my phone or if I picked it up. I think he ended up just turning around and walking away the phone, and I put my battery back in and I called back my friend. I was like, so bitch, you know, I just got jumped. You know, see, you gotta put on a strong front. You never let the enemy see you weak. I promise you. You never let it happen. I called my friend, I was like, bitch, these guys just trying to jump me. I just don't understand. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what's going on? Oh, what's happening? You know, long story short, I hopped on my bus. My heart was beating. Beating. Because I was terrified because it happened, but it was after the fact. Because in the moment, I was like, nah, B, we're not doing this. But then I'm walking away thinking like, oh, God, Jesus. And I could still see them walking because, like, now I'm back on that one lane sidewalk. And I turn around because I can still see that long strip of where they're walking. They're just walking, going about their business. And I'm like, Lord, please just don't let them bother coming back here and thinking they can finish the job. Because I'm like, you're short, he's tall, you guys are both dumb. There's nothing I can do about it. But anyway, yeah, that was my story of how I almost got jumped. So, yeah. Thanks for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below telling me if you want to see more. I just don't understand what all the noise is about. Leave a comment down below telling me how much you like these videos and if you want to see more of them, because trust me, the amount of story times I have lined up. Let me end this video before I get mad in here. Anyway, I have a lot of story times lined up. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.